It's May in the garden, and this is Ruth Ann sharing my winter sowing results with you from my Zone 5B garden in New Brunswick, Canada. I'm doing this as a part one because I haven't opened all of my containers yet. So quickly, an overview of winter sowing. It is when you plant your seeds in the wintertime in containers with an opening to allow in moisture and drainage holes in the bottom to allow drainage. You plant in potting mix, and I put most of my containers out in February. Depending on what zone you're in, you may do it earlier or later. I put some out in February, some out in March, and some out in April. These are very well germinated romaine lettuce seeds. They were just in a water bottle. This is a water jug from distilled water. We have a CPAP machine here, so I have lots of these containers. And as you can see, my dog enjoys being out with me in the garden. These are bok choy. They also germinated exceptionally well. One thing I will be noting this year, because this is my first year doing it, is trying to decide if I want to use certain types of containers or how thickly I seeded. As you can tell, the previous pot was chamomile and it germinated well, and then there was dill, which I had a few come up in. Same with the leeks, I had a few, but I can't remember exactly how heavily I seeded them, so we'll have to see. This is German thyme, which came well. The onions and leeks I found didn't do well in these smaller pots. Maybe if I did them in the larger ones, they'd be a little bit better. I did sow onion seeds in a seed snail this year, and they came exceptionally well. So I may just use that method in the future. As you can see, this is a 2-liter pop bottle. I planted rhubarb seeds, so I've never done rhubarb from seed before. We'll see how it does. I will update you on that and how quickly it grows. One thing you might notice when I'm opening these is some of them have duct tape on them, like this one, and some have packing tape. And the only reason some have packing tape is that I opened some of them early to expose them to the wind, to check on them or to add water, and I put packing tape on them because it was easier when I was done. But the duct tape definitely is my preference to tape them up in the winter. It will stay and it won't fall off due to the cold or the wet. So this is a 2-liter pop bottle, and I will say this one was planted in late April, so I think it was around the 18th of April, and it is sunflower seeds, and they grew really well. I think this is probably the way I will start my sunflowers every year. And they grew, it's less than a month since I planted them. This is lemon balm. It germinated really well. I have some of it transplanted already, and I hope to spread it around my yard a little bit in pots. This next one is some pansies, and they didn't germinate exceptionally well. Again, I'm not 100% sure how thickly I seeded this, so I'm not too disappointed. There are definitely some coming, but I had better results with the ones I started inside. This container is a muffin container, and I just sprinkled the seeds in. There's actually quite a few little plants. They aren't up very far yet, so I'm going to leave them growing for a bit. And they are wildflowers, so we will transplant them and see what happens. The next few are onions that I only got one onion in. And then this is bee balm, which came up well. Here are some of the greens that I have already planted out into planters, and they are taking root now. And this is some spinach. So that's it for today. Thank you to our 2024 sponsor, Dieppe Hydroponics. Check them out online. Thank you for tuning in, and I'd love to hear how your garden is growing. Talk to you soon.